Through R.A.V.E, recognizing, awarding, and valuing entrepreneurs, we recognize the innovators and the risk takers in our region. We are pleased to introduce to you 2019's Outstanding R.A.V.E Honorees.
So in 2009, maybe even 2008, we started talking about this. My mom said, "Did you know you can grow grapes in Minnesota?"
So I wanted to start the winery. My main goal, you're right, was to get my girls back. I wanted them here with me, and I wanted them in an agricultural business.
We were just all over the place. That's where our careers had led us. We all got talking more about what careers could be here, what could we build, and we're all extremely entrepreneurial.
Vicki created the business plan in 2009, but the dream of a vineyard and winery had already begun forming at a Christmas gathering.
Then we all brainstormed ideas of who would do what, and Justin, who had never made wine before, said, "Well, I'll be your winemaker." Okay. And Patrick, the aerospace engineer, said, "Well, I'll take care of the vineyard." Okay. And my oldest daughter, Sean, is an attorney, so she did all our legal work, and we just brought in a big pool of people. We all brainstormed, and we made it happen.
I remember having my baby just parked in a stroller as we hand planted every vine in this vineyard. All of us did.
On December 15th, 2011, the family opened the doors of the Four Daughters Vineyard and Winery.
We knew we wanted to do it right. We knew we wanted to be a destination. We knew we wanted to put something in rural Minnesota.
Four Daughters grew quickly, adding the event space 2 years ahead of schedule and growing their staff.
I've been at Four Daughters Vineyard for almost 3 years.
David was a perfect match due to his work on the ground floor of researching cold weather grapes.
Yeah, I've been interested in growing grapes ever since I studied biology, and I wanted to make a career of it.
In addition to their award-winning wine, in 2014, they added another signature product to their offerings.
My husband loved hard cider, and he said, "Let's take some gallons, 2,000 gallons, which is a big tank, small compared to what we're doing for Loon Juice now, and treat it like people treat wine."
Today, with over 50 employees during peak season, they have passed many milestones and learned a lot since that first vine was planted.
Four Daughters is the largest winery in Minnesota in terms of production volume.
Every single person that comes in the door is important to us. I know others might think, "Oh, you've been open for 8 years, it's easy." No. Every single day when we open the doors, we say, "I hope people come today."
My favorite part of the job, and I didn't know this was going to be a thing, but the winemakers will come in the morning at 8 o'clock and say, "Here, try this wine." Really? Okay. That seems pretty great. Cheers.
Nearly a decade ago, Geneticure co-founder Eric Snyder was in the academia world in Arizona when he met co-founder Ryan Spritzler. The pair realized that genetic ancestry and individual response to medication were inextricably linked.
We decided, hey, we could select genotypes that might help predict how people respond to hypertension, put them in the same nice box, and then bring them to the doctor and then help with the decision tree. We still have the napkins from our original kind of planning sessions.
Eric soon realized they needed to shore up the business side of Geneticure and tapped his brother Scott.
It took a lot of whiteboarding for me to understand the science, but once it clicked, I did realize that, hey, this is going to be the future. Either we're going to do it or somebody else is.
What sets Geneticure apart, and why focus on hypertension?
We looked at a bunch of different disease states, and high blood pressure rose to the top because it's a mammoth market. It's really poorly controlled today.
The fewer pills you can give an individual, the better. And right now, the standard of care essentially for hypertension is to try one drug and then to add another drug and then to add another drug.
In the future, this is the way diseases will be treated.
They continued clinical trials, gathering evidence and regulatory work, and in January 2017, moved into the Mayo Clinic Business Accelerator, managed by R.A.V.E.
The Mayo Clinic Business Accelerator provided a lot of support for us to raise outside financing. We had access to a lot of great talent here in Rochester, and then obviously just the physical resources of being able to have an office in the early days.
Less than a year later, Geneticure graduated from the accelerator and currently operates with approximately 10 employees with no signs of slowing down.
So we just got our first patent awarded 2 weeks ago. We're really excited because now we know we can protect these ideas.
It's really exciting because we actually get to see this impact lives now and get these case studies of people that have struggled with the disease and now are finding a solution.
When asked about setting out on an entrepreneurial journey with his brother, both Scott and Eric have a sense of humor with a healthy dose of mutual respect.
The list is so long. How do I narrow it down? I don't know, his siblings are great. No, Eric, he brings a completely different set of skills than I do, which is, I think, why we work well together.
Well, he has a tremendous sense of fashion. That would be number one. And I used to be a pretty good soccer player. So, no, but from the Geneticure side, I'm always thankful to have him on calls, with the business knowledge. We've moved on from angel investors into VC types, and they tend to get pretty hardcore on the questions on investing. I've been as lost at times with his answers to those as he probably has been at times with the scientific discussions we've had on the science team.
The early 80s were a difficult time for farmers, and Clean Plus Incorporated founder George Coy was no exception.
This is probably something you want to cut, but I remember walking across the yard one day at the farm and saying that the bakers are going to kill me. They're going to kill me, like a bolt out of the blue. The one thing they can't do and won't do is kill me. So since I'm going to live, I better do whatever I can to protect my family.
After looking at several different opportunities, he settled on a hand cleaner product that was especially effective in removing livestock odors. My father and I and an uncle and a cousin went out and learned how to make hand cleaner and packed up the entire factory, put it on a truck, and brought it back to Minnesota. We began manufacturing here in West Concord, Minnesota in August of 1987.
The hand cleaner business was going well, but in the early 90s, they realized they needed a product with a faster sales cycle.
I developed through some help of some friends, a line of starter and alternator repair kits for the do-it-yourselfer.
But the duo didn't stop there when opportunity again came knocking.
We were presented with an opportunity to look at an absorbent product to go into the automotive aftermarket that's made from corn stalks. Being a couple of farm kids from Minnesota, we took a real hard look at that. And we are now producing a full line of bio-based, cornstalk-based oil absorbents here in Minnesota.
As the absorbent line was developing, the CPI team developed a cleaning product that is now under the chemical division.
That particular product we call Rugged Wipes, and that product has been extremely successful in the auto glass replacement market. So much so that our distributors began coming to us and asking for more products. We have taken that opportunity and grown that into a separate business unit that should be called the glass division.
I'm glad that we're diversified. It keeps us looking always for new developments. And the divisions do well independently, but they also do even better collectively.
As the CPI crew of 9 employees continue their work and George hands over the reins to his son, Matt reflects on what has been the best part of his days at Clean Plus Incorporated.
Being able to come to work with my dad every day. Yeah, truly a blessing, truly a blessing.
Congratulations, 2019 R.A.V.E. Honorees. This video generously provided by Home Federal Savings Bank, Mayo Clinic Ventures, and Rochester Public Utilities.